guys, how my beautiful people doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Dan. Today I have a highly requested video by you guys. I'm gonna compare all these P20 sunscreens, let you know what's the difference between them, which one is my favorite. Before I start, consider following me on Instagram, where I'm posting a lot more these days. I've actually posted about these sunscreens a long time ago on Instagram, so check me out there. Subscribe to this channel, of course, for more videos, more skincare content, and yeah, check out my Patreon in case you want to help support the channel, though I have no Patreons there. Okay, so I'm gonna start by talking about what all these sunscreens have in common, because I just don't want to repeat myself for each sunscreen. But these are all chemical sunscreens containing only new generation UV filters, which I really appreciate. They're all fragrance and alcohol free. They are all not fungal acne safe, unfortunately. None of these sunscreens give me a white cast, but that might be different for people of color because all of these have tinosorb M, so they may not work for people with deeper skin tones. I think that's pretty much it, and all of them are shiny and a little bit heavy, just because you get extremely high UVA protection with these sunscreens. So high UVA protection and lightweight, they just don't go together. Currently, we don't have the technology to manufacture extremely high UVA protection sunscreen while being lightweight at the same time, or matte. These are not matte, they are shiny. Not extremely shiny. I've definitely tried much shinier sunscreens, but just don't expect them to be matte. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it when it comes to all the similarities. None of them are comedogenic, but comedogenicity, it's kind of like an unregulated term. And they all protect up to 10 hours. And I like that P20, they're doing additional tests to actually prove that. With that being said, I would still recommend reapplying these sunscreens if you are in extremely high sun exposure environment, at the beach, if it's summer outside, I would still reapply these. I wouldn't reapply them every 2 hours as the media recommends. I would reapply them after like 4 or 5 hours maybe. That 10-hour sun protection claim, it is proven, but it's proven in a lab, so it doesn't really reflect reality, and we all have different skin types. People with oilier skin are gonna disrupt the film faster than people with dry skin. So yeah, there are many criteria. Now I'm gonna compare these three sunscreens. We have the Sensitive Face, which was released last year, and we have the newer editions. It's the this is the Urban Shield and the Hyperpigmentation Defense. There are not that many differences between them, but I would say the Sensitive Face is the least impressive one, because Urban Shield has the highest water resistance out of the three sunscreens. Hyperpigmentation Defense offers the highest UVA protection out of the three sunscreens, and Sensitive Face doesn't really have anything going for it. It's kind of like in between these. It still has an amazing UVA protection of 50. It offers water resistance up to 40 minutes, which means after 40 minutes, the SPF is still the same. It's SPF 50 plus. It remains the same, and I really appreciate that P20 are doing the Australian water resistance testing. I think that's really impressive. What I can say about the sensitive skin is that it is my least favorite out of the entire range, just because it's the least impressive when it comes to specs. Let's just say that. But it's still an amazing product. It's just a little bit less impressive than the other two. It's still as lightweight as the Hyperpigmentation Defense, but it doesn't have the highest UVA protection, and it doesn't have the highest water resistance. So then the Urban Shield has the same UVA protection as the Sensitive Skin, UVA protection of 50, which is very impressive. But what this has is it has 80 minutes of water resistance, so twice the amount of water resistance, which means after 80 minutes, this is still gonna have SPF 50 plus, the SPF protection. It's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit heavier, but somehow it has a drier touch than the Sensitive Skin and even the Hyperpigmentation Defense. It feels a tiny bit more matte. It's not matte overall, but it's a little bit more matte than the other two. This one also has some antioxidants to protect against environmental stressor, to help fight free radicals. I wouldn't say it's gonna make like a huge difference, but sunscreen itself is gonna protect against environmental stressors, just because it protects your skin against UV damage. So and that's pretty much it. As you guys can see, I'm including footage so you can see how it looks like on my skin. I'm sorry, but the lighting is different because I cannot control that, but you can pretty much have an idea of how these look on my skin. And my favorite out of these three is the Hyperpigmentation Defense, just because it offers the highest UVA protection and it is the most lightweight out of the entire range, I would say. It's still shiny, but it just feels more elegant on the skin. It's more fluid. It has niacinamide, vitamin C, which are gonna help a little bit with the hyperpigmentation, but I think the heavy work is done by the sunscreen itself. The fact that it has such a high UVA protection is gonna help a lot in preventing and even reducing the hyperpigmentation on your skin. So overall, what I can say is it depends on the scenario. If, let's say, for example, it's noon, I'm gonna be out for like 2-3 hours, it's peak UV, I'm probably gonna use Hyperpigmentation Defense just because it has the highest UVA protection, and I'm going outside in the highest UV index. So, and I'm not gonna be outside for like the entire day, just like for 2-3 hours. I'm gonna apply the Hyperpigmentation Defense just because it has only 40 minutes of water resistancy, but it has the highest UVA protection. If it's morning and I'm gonna have a long day, I'm gonna spend the entire day outside, I am probably gonna apply the Urban Shield just because it has twice more water resistancy, so it's gonna stay longer on my skin. It's gonna offer me more reliable protection in that sense. It's not the highest UVA protection, but the film itself is gonna stay for longer on my skin. That's pretty much how I'm using them. Do you need all these sunscreens? You don't. I got these in PR, by the way, the Urban Shield and the Sensitive Skin. The other ones I bought it with my own money. And that's pretty much all the difference between these sunscreens. It's not a lot, it's just difference of textures and some specifications here and there. But with all this being said, the winner and what I consider the best value is the Sensitive Skin. This has a UVA protection above 40, but the water resistance, it's 80 minutes, just like the Urban Shield. So I still think this is just the best sunscreen. It's 3 times less expensive than the other sunscreens. The Sensitive Skin one, the big bottle, very cost effective. You're not gonna be like, maybe I should apply less just because it's so expensive, or so I still prefer this one for everyday use. I'm using this one. It's just reliable, cost effective. I would say it is kind of as heavy as the Urban Shield when it comes to texture. Has the same consistency, the same finish. They all pretty much kind of had the same finish, I would say. Just tiny minor differences here and there that you're probably not gonna notice and all the other people are not gonna notice. And although I appreciate all these new releases, I still think this is the best sunscreen from them. The old Sensitive Skin one, just because it's so cost effective, you cannot really beat this one. I like using this on my body, on my face. Never really got a 10 with this one. Very, very strong UVA protection, high water resistancy. And yeah, none of these sunscreens, by the way, I forgot to mention, none of these sunscreens are giving me like burny eyes, anything like that. They sit very comfortably around my eyes. This video is all over the place. I'm sorry about that, guys. I haven't filmed in a while, so it's just all over the place. But I still hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you find it helpful. If you did so, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what other sunscreens I should check. By the way, I bought the La Roche-Posay UV Immune Kids version, so I'm gonna review that soon. So far I like it a lot. It's better than all the other UV Immune sunscreens just because they removed the old generation filters and they only left avobenzone. They removed octisalate, they removed homosalate. Octisalate is very problematic for my skin, so I really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm gonna review that one soon. And yeah. Love you all, guys. See you on my next video.